and we begin by querying up South Florida and Florida. DeSantis' presidential campaign, most disastrous in history, spending $7,000 for every vote he got. Each person who cast a vote for him, he spent $7,000 to secure that vote. Governor Ron DeSantis embarked on his presidential campaign and left a significant financial footprint. His campaign, coupled with the affiliated super PAC Never Back Down, collectively spent a staggering $160 million. This sum raises eyebrows, considering the candidate failed to secure victory in any single county in Iowa. For comparison, Trump took 98 of the 99, Nikki Haley took the 99th. And according to federal FCC election law reports this last week, the Never Back Down PAC raised nearly $180 million last year. They helped DeSantis export his anti-LGBTQ plus culture war from Florida to America, and spending more money per vote than any major presidential candidate in history. And it all leads to nothing, except, of course, humiliation. He spent more than $7,000 per vote and visited every single county in Iowa. That's punishment. Former Republican Congressman David Jolly, co-founder of the FayWhat Party, remarked, quote, "I think this remains one of the most epic collapses of a presidential campaign in modern political history, and that's not hyperbole," end quote. Despite federal rules preventing coordination between a candidate and a PAC, Never Back Down effectively became DeSantis' campaign arm, organizing events in key states where they were able to feature the special guest. Of course, that is Ron DeSantis. The PAC raised over $145 million and spent more than $130 million. Despite their efforts, the campaign faced challenges, prompting discussions about the acceptance of Americans when it comes to conservatives like Ron DeSantis. I mean, yes, we are all dancing on this political grave, but I would say that the grave is that of this particular campaign, not necessarily DeSantis. I pointed out before, Richard Nixon lost his first round when he went out. Ronald Reagan lost his first time out trying to be president. So I don't think DeSantis is dead, and I think it would be premature to say that he is politically dead. He's still got 2 to 3 effective years left, or years left to be effective in the Florida governor's mansion. He's still in his mid-40s. So there is time for him to make a political...
Is he really?
Yeah.
He's what? He looks... How old?
In his mid-40s. That's not old, baby. That's not old. That's not old.
Yeah,
You'll be that someday.
I'll be that in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Hello. Don't play.
Yeah.
Don't play. Yeah. Don't play. That's why we're in the mid-40s.
Mid-40s. Yeah, well, I mean, he served in Congress. He was in the military. So it's a rough 40.
Girl.
It's a rough, it's a rough 40.
It's a rough everything.
Well, I have to say,
with $160 million at his whims,
exposure,
like, girl, get some Botox.
$7,000 per vote.
Well, I'm from Illinois.
Get moisturizer.
And we sent four governors to prison: Blagojevich, Ryan, Walker, and Kerner. And let me tell you, maybe somewhere along the line, Governor Death Sentence broke the law, and maybe he'll be locked up, and he can share a cell with the giant orange adult diaper baby.
I love it, Greg.
I mean, seriously, let's hope.
That just rolled right off.
It's a criminal, yes.
We can
agree with you, John. I think that he should not be taken out of consideration. I think he's a young man, and he's got a big record behind him. He's got good education behind him, and also I've said this before. I think there's a possibility, God forbid, if Trump wins, that Trump would actually give him an appointment in a new Trump administration, simply for him to be able to have a higher profile job. Imagine if they made him Secretary of Education. Imagine if they made him Attorney General.
I'm not imagining any of those things.
Can you imagine?
I actually imagined his demise, and this is what happened. So I'm going to continue to imagine his demise, because that's how this plays out. It happens in our imaginations, and then it comes and manifests to us physically. So if we continue to celebrate and dance on his demise, then he will continue to demise.
I like it. I like
I only
it.
hope that you're right, but I worry about these are skillful individuals.
And so am I. And so are we. We are not powerless. I want people to understand that we are not powerless. You know, we are not powerless people. We're not powerless individuals when it comes down to thinking, imagining, or energizing a base. Like, we can do things outside of what may seem is not normal. And this is one of those things. Like, let's take this as a win and keep it moving forward with more optimism that we can get this. I can't say the word, but get this person up out of here. And if this is the worst performance in history, well, let's make it the first and the last time he ever tried this.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. I said it last week. Unfortunately, Florida loves Ron DeSantis. We don't at this table, obviously, but a vast majority of this state, especially northern Florida, worship him. I remember I moved here a year and a half ago, and some of the things that I was told that Ron DeSantis did greatly for Florida, and I still haven't been able to agree with any of those things that I've heard from that first day moving here. But I think it's scary. I think, Jamal, to your point, I think that there's power in numbers. I think that if you are a straight ally, if you're a whatever ally watching this right now, share this feed. I think there's power in us getting more information out. That's why this platform is here. DeSantis' death sentence is not going anywhere overnight, but with more awareness coming from different groups, not just the LGBTQ community, but the straight community, the Black community, the brown community, the purple people eater, I don't care. But anyone spreading this awareness is better than just us. So please help, and let's get him out of here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And of course, Florida hasn't been forgotten by the national Democrats.